Beaver's kitchen, we will be making a Narnian classic, Turkish delight. And to help me make this delightful treat is my good friend Edmund.
Hello.
Hello, Edmund. Now, when you first came to Narnia, you just loved the Turkish delight here, didn't you?
That's Turkish delight.
Not now. We'll trust you at the end, okay? But I'm going to teach you how to make it. Now, to do this, we'll need to head over to the stove. Alright, so first thing, you're going to take your sugar. Can you hand me my sugar, Edmund?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. And this is 1 cup and 2/3 cup sugar. So we're just going to pour it in our pot. Do not taste the lemon juice, Edmund. This is lots of water. How much water does the recipe say, Edmund? It's right there.
It says 2 tablespoons.
No. 1 1/4 cup. This is 1 1/4 cup of water. Now we're going to pour it in there with the sugar. Okay. And then we're going to do the lemon juice. It's about 3 tablespoons or the juice of 1 lemon. So we're just going to pour that in there. Good. There you go. And we're going to stir it. Now, we're going to turn the stove on. Good. Okay, we're going to stir it and we're going to simmer it until the sugar dissolves. Some fun history on Turkish delight is it was actually invented by a Colombian sultan. He had teeth problems, but he had an enormous sweet tooth, which is probably why he had teeth problems. Keep stirring. And he wanted a dessert that was sweet, but wouldn't hurt his gums. So he asked his He asked his cook to make a dessert that was super sweet, but also squishy and delectable. And he didn't want anything hard or crunchy. Well, the first cook did not make it, but he engaged a second cook, and he was successful because he built upon the previous cook's notes, and they invented Turkish delight. And ever since, it has spread from Colombian land to Narnia, which it has a bad history, but it's actually a very good dessert in less cursed, which Edmund, I'm sure, can say that cursed Turkish delight is not
Much better.
No!
But worse for...
So you can test if the sugar is dissolved by just spreading a little bit. If it's granular, there's still sugar. But this is quite smooth, so I'd say it's good. Alright. We're going to turn this on low and go back to the counter where we'll show you what's next. So first thing first, we're going to put our water in. Now this is 2/3 a cup and 2 tablespoons, very specific. And you're just going to pour the water in. Then we have our gelatin. Now traditional Turkish delight doesn't have gelatin, but it takes about 6 hours to make. So we're going to make a bit of a quicker version. Now this is 9.5 teaspoons of gelatin. Right? Then we're going to add our cornstarch. It may seem like a lot of cornstarch, but you have to have the cornstarch to get that creamy, smooth texture. So we're just going to take our whisk and we're going to whisk this up. Now it's very, very particular here, so you have to whisk it quite a lot in order to get all the lumps out. You don't want lumps in it. You can see how it's getting quite thick now, and that is a very good thing, but there's still a few lumps, so we're going to keep whisking. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Any few lumps that are left should dissolve in the pan. So, we're going to go back to the stove. Alright, so now we're going to add our mixture to the mixture in the pot. Edmund! Alright, so we're going to add our cornstarch and gelatin mixture to the mixture of sugar water. We're going to put it all in there. As you can see, there are a few lumps left, but that's mostly the gelatin, so it should dissolve. Alright, here you go. So we're just going to stir that up. We're going to turn the heat up a little bit because we want to bring it to a boil. Once it becomes a boil, it will thicken quite rapidly and become a funny looking goop. Oh, look at that, it's beginning to boil.
Wow.
We're going to keep going. See how much thicker that is. It's pouring off in a sheet, just like jam. Alright, that does look good. Now we're going to turn the heat off and add the flavorings. Okay, so we're going to add the rose water. This is 3 teaspoons of rose water. Now this is one of the things that makes Turkish Delight so delectable. Is it tastes like flowers. And it's looking very good. So let's go back to the counter and let it cool. Alright, so the next step is we're going to take our pan and we've lined it with some press and seal. Alright, so we're going to spread some cornstarch around on the bottom of the pan. The more you put on, the more it will help to get your Turkish Delight out of it. Alright, we're just going to set that aside for now. And we're going to add some colour. I want my Turkish Delight to be red, like roses this time, because I used the traditional rose water flavouring. But if you want to use a different flavouring, you can use any flavouring you wish. We have almond, and pistachio, and hazelnut, and maple. I've used all of these for Turkish Delight at one point, depending on what I felt like. We also have caramel and English toffee. You can use any colour you'd like, or any flavouring. It's up to you. Make it your own. Alright, so we're going to add some red flavouring now. I want to add about 3 drops. I'm just going to mix that in. My glasses are steaming up. It's really quite hot. I don't believe we have enough dye. Now that we have our food colouring in, we're going to pour it into a prepared pan. Or tell me the pan.
May I pour it?
Oh, certainly. Be careful, it is hot though. Alright. Excellent. It looks lovely. Alright, and you're just going to put it in the fridge for about 6 hours and take it out and cut it into slices. Now the more cornstarch you use for cutting it into slices, the better, so they don't stick back together again. Now we're going to let this cool over here for a minute, and you would be putting it in your fridge right now. But I don't have 6 hours to wait, so I'm going to show you some Turkish Delight I made previously. Now this Turkish Delight is my lemon hazelnut Turkish Delight. It's quite good, and you can see the texture's nice and soft, and there aren't any chunks. It's very, very smooth. Alright, Edmund, you may try a piece of Turkish Delight.
Oh, thank you.
One of the most delectable desserts on the planet. Thank you so much for coming today, and I'll see you next time.